Europe's aviation chaos deepened as drones shut down Copenhagen and Oslo airports for hours, just days after cyberattacks crippled major European hubs. NATO swiftly blamed Russia, citing a pattern of recent airspace violations, while Moscow flatly denied any role, calling the claims baseless. Are these incidents mere coincidence or evidence of a creeping Russian hybrid war against the West? Copenhagen Airport, the busiest hub in the Nordic region, was forced to shut down for nearly 4 hours after drone sightings brought all takeoffs and landings to a halt. Norway's Oslo airport also closed its airspace over a drone before reopening on September 23rd, following several hours of disruption. In a post on X, the Copenhagen airport said,
"There are still unidentified drones around Copenhagen Airport. As a result, no flights can take off or land. Arriving flights have been diverted to other airports and departing flights have been delayed or cancelled. Passengers are asked to orient themselves at cph.dk or with the airlines."
The airspace at Oslo Airport in Norway was reopened by 3:22 a.m. 01:22 GMT. A spokesperson for Norwegian airport operator Avinor said in a statement. It had been shut since midnight, 2200 GMT, due to a drone observation, with all flights diverted to the nearest airport. Danish police said earlier on September 22nd that 2 or 3 large drones had been seen flying near Copenhagen's airport, closing it to all traffic. Copenhagen Police Deputy Assistant Commissioner Jacob Hansen told reporters,
"The police have launched an intensive investigation to determine what kind of drones these are. The drones have disappeared and we have not taken any of them."
Hansen said authorities in Denmark and Norway would cooperate to determine whether there was a link between the two incidents. CNN reported that earlier, Oslo police said they arrested 2 foreign nationals for flying drones over a restricted area. There was no indication that the incident was connected to the events in Copenhagen. Norwegian media reported the drones were flown over the Akershus Fortress, a medieval castle that is sometimes used for government events. The airport halted operations at 8:26 p.m. on September 22nd, according to flight tracking service Flight Radar. Around 50 flights were diverted to alternate airports. After it reopened, Copenhagen Airport said on X that delays and some cancellations would persist and urged passengers to check with their airlines. Frustrated travellers reported confusion both in the air and on the ground. Passenger Mikael Belstrup told TV2,
"We were told that Copenhagen Airport was closed due to drones and that the staff didn't know anything. We are still in the plane, and they are refueling it, so we have the opportunity to come back if or when the airport opens."
Others described seeing police cars racing around the runways and blue flashes from the tarmac as emergency crews responded to the scare. However, this was not the first time Copenhagen Airport was paralysed by rogue drones. Back in January, the airspace was closed for nearly 2 hours after similar sightings. The airport shutdowns came after a string of disruptions at European airports in recent days. A cyber attack on September 19th knocked out check-in and boarding systems supplied by Collins Aerospace, a unit of RTX, affecting operations at London's Heathrow and the Berlin and Brussels airports. Over the weekend and into Monday, the fallout continued to snarl travel across the region. The EU's cybersecurity agency confirmed malicious software was used to lock airport systems, saying, "The type of ransomware has been identified. Law enforcement is involved to investigate." Ransomware is a weapon of choice for criminals infecting key systems before demanding Bitcoin payments to undo the damage. But intelligence experts believe this latest wave of chaos bears all the hallmarks of a state-backed hit job. Security and politics expert Anthony Glees told The Sun,
"Without doubt, the Russians are behind these attacks on airports in London, Berlin, and Brussels. No one can doubt that Putin's strategic planners are the beneficiaries here, because they have been able to demonstrate they can attack our cyberspace with impunity and at will."
incidents come as several European countries have reported violations of their airspace by Russia in recent days. Estonia said on September 19th that 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets had entered Estonian airspace without permission. During a Russian airstrike on Ukraine the week before, Poland said about 19 drones flew into its airspace. The Polish Air Force and NATO allies shot down some of the unmanned vehicles, marking the first time Russian drones were downed over NATO territory since Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Romania also registered a Russian drone in its airspace. The United Nations Security Council, UNSC, convened on September 22nd to address the issue of airspace violations. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Dmitry Polyansky, denied the allegations that Moscow's fighter jets had violated the airspace of neighbouring Estonia, saying that on September 19th, the flight of 3 of its MiG-31 aircraft was done strictly in accordance with international airspace regulations. The Russian Ministry of Defence echoed his remarks, saying that objective monitoring confirmed that the MiGs did not breach Estonian borders. NATO allies at the UNSC meeting, however, condemned Russia for allegedly violating the alliance's airspace.
Your reckless actions risk direct armed confrontation between NATO and Russia. Our alliance is defensive, but be under no illusion, we stand ready to defend NATO's skies and NATO's territory.
NATO's North Atlantic Council will meet to discuss the issue on September 23rd.